What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we're gonna do a little bit of gearing swap on this Traxxas Hoss. We did about 72 miles and I put in a I was running 26 and 54 gearing in here, stock, whatever it comes with. I just upgraded one of the gear, the pinion only. We got up to 70 mile per hour on 4S, and then I did a lot of modifications. I put the wing on, all this stuff, and I also put this air diffuser in the front. But this thing made my truck go kind of bananas, and you can check that out. But once I removed this, it went back to normal and it was straight. So I guess the wind was so much force the truck wants to push, and then it was just going crazy, and the force of the wind wanted to just stop the truck, and the rear end just wanted to push it, so it went out of control a little bit. But in today's video we got some gearing right here. Traxxas gearing. This is what is this? Let me just make sure. This is 50 tooth. So we're going about 4 tooth down. And then I got another pinion gear here. This is a 27. Already put this in, but this is the gear that I used, so you guys know. Anyways, very simple to change gearing on this truck. So I just want to show you guys. I am gonna change that motor out because that motor is, I tried to connect success in there, it wasn't handling. Oh, here's the gear I took out, and there's a 27 gear in there, and 26 I took out, so that stays out. Let's come close and take a look. I'm gonna take the whole truck apart, and the rear end will just come open like a sandwich, and we should be able to swap that diff gear in there. But I did put a 20 mil on all the diffs, okay, all around. So that's another thing that I do have videos on that, so check that out. So let's come close and do this. So here we are. Let's move some of the tools out of the way. So this truck is very simple to take apart. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take off one tube, and we're gonna take out the 2 bolts, and then we're gonna go in the bottom. But I need to switch up my socket here, so I think only 4 bolts should do it. Let's see how that feels about this truck coming apart. So we're gonna remove this little guy. Let's put that somewhere safe, and then we're gonna take this one off. And I am gonna be changing the motor down the road, but I do want to run it. I know I did a lot of runs. It might bore you guys, but the process here is to push the car to its max, and whatever it takes, okay, whatever it takes to do it. And the baby, so there's 2 and 2 bolts down here, and if you have any luck, this thing should just come apart. There you go, perfect. So this is, it's only 2 bolts and 2 bolts in the bottom. The whole rear end comes off just like that. Let's put that to the side. So now what we really need is the diff here, okay, and it might just take a little bit of the bearing might bother us, but it will simply just come out. So the bearing came out with this, so make sure we put this back. I'm gonna clean that bearing, but this is what we need for both 40 screws, and we should be able to dismantle this guy. So let's take a look. We're gonna bring the camera down a little bit now. So remember, we took off this, and we're gonna open this package up. Let me get my scissor. Where did I put the freaking scissor? No clue. So we're gonna just rip it open. Again, there's a part number there if you guys need this. Sorry about that. So there we have it. What we're gonna do is simply we are gonna have to remove this guy first, because this thing has to slip out of there, and we're gonna have to switch our bit up. You know what, instead of using this, I am gonna use my handheld tools, and what we'll do is we'll take this apart, and this will come off. Very simple and easy. Now we can use our power tool here, of course, make life easy. So we're gonna switch our bit up, and this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is first. It's kind of get messy in here now. Well, let's save our bolts first. So what I want to do now is I want to push this in, and I want to get this cup off. And it's not going to be so easy, but if you push this whole thing, and the whole thing should just stay behind. And remember, there's a blue seal right there, so make sure that seal stays behind too. So look at that, 120 mil. So we do need to take off this little seal, put it onto that. So look at the size difference here of these gears. Look at that. Okay, we're going from I'm sorry, 56, 50, 54. I believe this is 54, but anyways, it is what it is. But let me go get some tools. So I wanted to get this flathead screwdriver because we want to take this little guy, and this goes straight onto that. Very important seal, because if you don't put this on, your diff fluid is gonna leak out of there, and you gotta line. Okay, you can't just throw this in. So what I like to do here is I like to take my 4 bolts and stick it through the rubber seal. At least have 2 ready, just like that. And there you have it. And then there's one more here, and then there's one more. Perfect, there you go. So we have that. We're gonna put this to the side, and if you want to take some of the fluid, I mean, this is still packed, so we shouldn't have to be bothered with that. That seal right there, you could take it and put it here. There's shims. Make sure everything goes back the way it is, okay? And then you need to align this with the holes inside. So make sure you go precise and precision. And what I'm gonna do is slowly take my power tool. I'm gonna see if I can catch the threads. So go even. Don't go crazy. And this is pretty much, that's how simple this was. I just want everything to go to straight. Everything has to go in straight, and the reason why everything has to go straight is because the seal, I want the seal to go in perfectly. So long as you take your time, you should be able to do this quickly enough and not have any issues. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. This little guy seems like it doesn't have any thread lock on it, but I want to make sure. Yeah, it feels like it's really tough, so it shouldn't just come loose. So we're gonna put this baby back on. Remember the flat surface there, and we're gonna lock this in. Hold this up against and lock this baby in. Bada bing, bada boom. And then all we're gonna do is put everything back together. But I do want to remember, I'm gonna clean this bearing up, so you can inspect this bearing so there's no wiggle woggle, and it feels smooth as you spin it, so there should be no issues. So we're gonna come back up a bit, and idiot like me would forget. Okay, I thought I had to put the bearing in before that, but this is good. So this goes right in. So now the shaft is kind of loose back there, so we're gonna have to figure that part out together. And the front and back, okay, there you go, perfectly in. Okay, it's in. It went in really smooth. So make sure your shaft grabs the rear end also. And we're gonna go up with this little guy. So we do need to mesh this guy gear, okay, because this gear, since this is smaller, the gear needs to go more further now. So what we're gonna do is, that's something you guys can do. Should be very simple. And what we're gonna do is, now this thing needs to fit in there, so you might have to you see it's like an oval in there, and this guy right here, they both gotta fit in perfectly. So don't be assuming that don't be trying to jam it in. It should, if you roll this guy a little bit back and forth, and everything should just fall in place. Okay, that's how I see it. So I'm still playing around with this little guy, so it hasn't went in like the way I want it to go in. So it's still not in. There you go. I felt they go in, and all the bolts should align. And now all I need to do is switch up my bit one more time on the tool, on the drill. I am going to put the 4 bolts that I took out. Okay, I don't know why that's not going in. Maybe it's not aligned, but I saw the holes come aligned. So let's start from the bottom instead, the top. Okay, you see, there you go, there's my problem. So this is not all the way in yet. So let's try one more time. This had to be in the bottom, so let's try one more time. There you go. Now it feels like it went in place. Yep, it looks better down here now. I'm gonna pick up my bolt, and I'm gonna put in 1 screw here. Remember, this is into plastic, so take it easy. So we should be able to reach and touch the 80s now. Okay, and then all I need to do here is take the 2 bolts here. Same thing, the 2 bolts that I took out from the top. One. And 2. There you have it. So remember, our gear for the motor is not touching yet, and the reason why it's not touching is because we need to do the mesh on that. Okay, let's take a look at that now. So what I want to do now is I want to loosen up this little bolt here. And once I loosen that up, my gear should drop a little bit. And make sure you have a perfect amount of mesh. Too tight, no good. Too loose, no good. So that's too tight. So what I want to do here is I want to loosen it up. I want to back it up a bit and redo the mesh a little bit. So once it's done, I will show you guys what I did, and you will hear the car sounds different. So I need to get my proper tool to loosen this guy up, because I don't want to use my drill. It's just not reaching to that corner that I needed to reach. Okay, there you go. Too much. Okay, there you go. That feels good there. That mesh feels real good. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. You should be able to hear that little ding ding. You hear that? That means it's a good mesh. So there we have it. So let's show you guys. But the tools always want to roll. Okay. See how smooth it is? It does have a little ding ding. I might work on a little bit more, but a little bit sounds good though. I'm gonna leave it there. Anyways, thank you for watching my video, guys, and stay tuned for more videos with this guy Traxxas on 5027 gearing.